A bit earlier, before you arrived, Jenny, we were having a discussion about the new Labour MP in Selby, and Johnny Mercer said, we don't want Parliament to become like the in-betweeners.
Johnny, that's a bit harsh.
What you make of that?
No, it's not
I
harsh
think
at
that's
all.
a bit off, actually. I mean, he's a young person, but he's not full of himself. He's somebody who's very considered, he's intelligent, he's done a great job, he's related really well to his now constituents in Selby, and it's their call, actually, who represents them, and that's not what they thought. They thought he was the right person to do the job.
What did you mean by in-betweeners, Johnny?
Because I think this synthetic outrage, identikit Labour politician is the opposite of what people like me came into politics for, right? I became an MP because I thoroughly disliked that sort of representation and that kind of fictional, outrage all the time about the Conservatives. I think that, this guy, he's been at Oxford University more than he's had a job, right? So if you can really apply that to the empathy required to understand what it's really like in this country at the moment, in terms of the cost of living, in terms of all these experiences of the people he's trying to represent. Personally, I don't think that is conducive to good electoral representation, and I'm more than entitled to have that view.
Well, you're entitled to have whatever view you like, clearly, but there is such a thing as being gracious in defeat, Johnny, and that, honestly, that's disrespectful to the vote. Well, that doesn't sound like it to me. And you're being disrespectful to the voters of Selby, who've made a decision that you don't happen to like.
No, it's not at all. It's about the quality of politicians in this country, which I've always commented on.
I think one of the good things about our Parliament is that we have people entering Parliament for the first time in their 20s, but also in their 60s, from all kinds of backgrounds. And I think that's a strength.
So
and I think if you start to say...
Age doesn't matter, right?
Well,
but if you put a chip in them and they just relate Keir
Who's got a
Starmer's
chip?
policies without any, grounding in the
I think
Constitution...
now you're just getting a bit insulting and rude.
How many times Johnny? How many times...
He's been dropped into that constituency, right? And he's gone in there and he's spouted all these identikit Keir Starmer lines, which is the easy thing to do at a midterm when the Tories have been in 13 years.
Johnny Mercer, how many Tory advisors end up becoming Tory MPs, trotting out the line time and time
the 5 pledges.
Again?
We hear about them all the time.
Good pledges, aren't they? Fantastic.
Would you ban Tory advisors, Tory special advisors, from becoming MPs?
I've got nothing to say on that. I think that
our chips in
people become. Have I had a Conservative chip inserted into me, Sam? No. So you've got to be genuine. You've got to be authentic. Look, above everything, right? We're patriots, okay?
To be fair, I actually don't know.
And I firmly believe that Keir Starmer as my Prime Minister is not something I want to see, right? And that I'm in the Conservative Party for all sorts of reasons, but above all, we're patriots, and we don't want to see that happen to this country. You've seen people living under Sadiq Khan as London Mayor, and they're pretty annoyed about it, and the Tories are going to win a by-election midterm.
OK, maybe not a CCHQ trip, maybe something a little bit more exciting. But there is a problem, Jenny, with people that come into Parliament, young or old, but not really knowing what they're doing, not really having the experience of how the political system works, and ending up kind of reading from scripts. And it takes a long time to become a sort of useful MP who can make an impact.
I think it's different. I mean, there are MPs with different backgrounds, different experiences, who bring different things to the role. The Labour Party's got some amazing candidates for the next general election. And I think we're going to have a very, very strong parliamentary party. When I first went into Parliament, I was a mum with 2 young kids. I represented my local community on the local council. I didn't know what an Oyster card was. I came down to London, spoke to a policeman outside Parliament and didn't know how to get in. But, you need people who've got real-world, real-life experience turning up and representing their community. And it's up to the voters to decide who they want to pick. It's not up to you, Johnny, to tell them.
I know, but has this guy got that real-life experience? I've got huge respect for you, Jenny.
The experience he has is of winning that seat in Selby and beating you.
They're going to go into the House of Commons, stand up with a bit of paper and read it out.
You are so wrong.
That is not
we have
what
got prison officers, we've got army veterans, we've got social workers, teachers, trade unionists. We've got people who run businesses. We've got all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds, and that is how it should be. I think, to be fair to you, Johnny, you bring character and you bring a bit of energy to what you do. But that, not everyone is going to be like you. Not everyone is going to be like
Thankfully.
me. It is a mix.
Thank you both.
I think we can agree on that.
Johnny Mercer, you can carry the conversation on in the corridor. We're out of time. Thank you both. It's been great. Coming up, plenty.